What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a newly updated Sky Striker deck profile for Link Evolution by request. Being a former nightmare to face before the update, Sky Strikers has been the victim of an updated ban list and as such is far from what it used to be. Going over the ban list hits first, Widow Anchor, Hornet drones, and Multirole are all limited to 1, and our favorite search card Engaging is entirely banned. Kagari is also still limited to 1 as well, making that recovery effect harder to pull off. Most people would say Sky Striker is unplayable now, as I've heard it pretty often in and out of streams, but I was determined to give it a shot despite my crippling fear of misplays. On that note, this is probably one of my weakest decks, so ease up on dragging my skills here, as I'm sure I made mistakes just like in the last Sky Striker video. Recent Striker decks have adopted a high use of hand traps since the ban list hits, and it does make a difference. There will be times where you won't have a play, so disrupting your opponent as much as possible is a key to surviving. Roze is a new card we did receive with the update, along with the Link 2 monster Zeke, and it does help a little in providing another monster to get your Link summons rolling. It can also summon itself alongside Raye for the potential Utopia double combo you see in the deck, but most of the time I didn't run this engine. Instead, I opted for Pot of Avarice, Borrelsword, and Knightmare Unicorn with the occasional Mystic Mine to help us survive. This is a spell-censored deck, so maximizing out on them is highly recommended to trigger your secondary effects for your Striker spells. Area Zero was something I relied on heavily since it was the next best thing to search, outside of sending specific cards to the grave with Hiita to recover with Ogre. Mind Control helped deal with opponents' monsters, letting us tribute them for Area Zero or Link summons. Desires was a big risk since you could banish some key limited cards, so I tried hard to only use it if I had no choice or after I emptied the deck of those cards. As much as I would love to show off a flashy replay, I do want to be realistic at the same time. You will get unplayable hands like such quite often unless you're a magical Yu-Gi-Oh Pharaoh. Sometimes you will need to do crazy things like popping your own Area Zero with jamming waves or Afterburners to get a monster, but if you can't, you have to rely on your hand traps and disruption as much as you can. I'm pretty sure I've never faced Marincess in my life, but for whatever reason we're able to slow his plays down with a simple Shark Cannon to banish his graveyard. I think I've seen this deck spam out monsters for strong Link monsters, so only having to deal with blue slug is a relief. For now, all we can do is pray for Hornet drones, a Sky Striker monster, or a successful search of either from Area Zero. Afterburners is tough here because if we could get 3 spells into the grave, we could pop Blue Slug and our Area Zero to get rolling, but unfortunately it wasn't possible yet. Since I saw this opportunity though, I do save it just in case, but spoiler alert, we are going to get what we need next turn. Sky Strikers is a control deck no matter what, so once we get rolling, the objective is to use our newly searched and recovered spells to hold the opponent down while we chip away at his health. As our spell count in the grave rises, we can steal his monsters little by little to go into stronger Link monsters until we obtain lethal. As I mentioned, we finally get a Raye so we can start the duel for real. An important thing to note that I did not do here is target Raye with Area Zero's effect. Doing this lets you chain her quick effect to summon a Link monster and get a potential search without having to sacrifice a card. You can do this with Multirole as well. I do play things kind of careful here and hold off on using Afterburners to pop Area Zero for 2 monsters, but regardless, going into Hiita for a pseudo search mill is important after the slow start we had. Attacking directly the mill a needed spell to then recover with Kagari is something I did often to make up for the lack of engage. From there you can Shizuku for the end of each of your turns, and then rinse and repeat until your opponent scoops. That's going to be it for me though. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the replays, which can be quite long sadly. This deck can get into some pretty long duels, so I did my best to find some decent replays for the video. Make sure to like and comment what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.